This is a drill that was given to me by my grandfather. It belonged to my grandfather's grandfather, and now it has been in the family for 5 generations. So when you hear someone talking about heirloom tools, this is an example of that. I am currently disassembling it, taking it apart bit by bit. Most of it I'm just kind of figuring out as I go, and it's fairly self-explanatory, screws and bolts and unthreading things. There were a few pins that I had to look for, but everything seemed to come together fairly well, or in this case actually came apart fairly well. Some of the interesting pieces were the chuck on one was very different. One I haven't seen before. It was kind of interesting, but they all came apart. Now I went and got my bath of vinegar. This is 4 gallons of vinegar and water, 50-50. I have now had it for probably about 3 months, and it's still going strong, and every time I put something in there, it derusts it. So I put it in there and then let it sit for about 24 hours and let it soak. It goes pretty well. Once I have it sit for 24 hours, bring it out, scrub it down. From this point on, I try and keep it wet. I use a series of different brushes to get into different places. Some steel wool, I have a brass brush for some of the softer things. I'll actually soak it twice, 24 hours each time, with a scrub in between. I find that gets it perfectly clean. Then I bring it out, everything gets rubbed down and oiled very quickly. Got to keep the rust off of it, but it's just getting it dry and then getting it oiled. Next up, we take it over and tape it so that when I paint the surfaces I don't get overspray where I want to. This can sometimes be difficult because some of them might be oiled. Well, they pretty much are, but it goes along pretty well. You just gotta take your time and do a good job. Make sure you put tape where you don't want the paint to go. I have a board that I then set everything out on and give it a light pass of paint. I try and make it light. It's very easy to go heavy, but the problem with heavy is you end up getting a bad paint job that chips off or becomes gross. But it goes pretty easily. Last up, take the tape off and reassemble it. This is where the fun happens. You get to actually get to know the tool. How does it work? How do things go together? As I go, I try and oil everything. I want to make sure that it's running smoothly, so any of the moving parts get 3-in-1. All of the surface, I use a mineral oil or a olive oil. I like the olive oil. It dries a little bit quicker, but it's a lighter oil, and I kind of like it. I was pleasantly surprised when this drill went together that everything works really well. I was just pretty happy for being in the family for 5 generations. This is also the time when you really get to know the drill, you get to know the tool and its ins and outs and what works and what doesn't, and how it actually performs. Yes, I know I'm using pliers, I'm sorry. I should have used a wrench, but that's what I had in front of me.
So there you have the work on the 2 hand drills. I really am happy with how these came out. This one particularly is just absolutely gorgeous. The company, I keep forgetting what the name of it, HSB and Company, all our very best, number 80. I really enjoy this. I like it. It's a very smooth hand drill. It's got everything it needs. I intend to use it quite a bit. Things I do differently next time. On this one, really nothing. This one I'd like to do a little more research. It was tight when I first got it, and I'm not exactly sure, but it seems like it keeps tightening up the nut on here. And so as you get going, it gets harder and harder and harder to drill as this nut tightens up. And I haven't figured out how it was originally made not to do that. I'd like to, but until then, I don't know. If you have any ideas, let me know. I'd love to figure that one out. As always, if you saw I did something wrong, or saw I'd like to do something different, or thought I did something in a different way and thought that was interesting, please let me know. I'd love to hear about it and see what you would do. So I hope you like this. Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.